welcome to Mlimani Discussion Forum, a forum that aims at looking at all the current and burning issues in our society, including development, information and communication technologies, business, and many other more. And today, you're going to be with me, your host, Marymaria Massawe. Today, we're going to look at data journalism, the current and most current form of journalism right now that is used by journalists in all the matters that concern statistics. So today we have brought an expert from this field of data journalism who is going to tell us more about data journalism. And today we have Rogers George from Nukta. He's going to tell us more about what does Nukta do, and he's going to give us more hint on data journalism. Welcome, Rogers.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, I'm delighted that you're here too. So, what is data journalism?
I would define it simply as making meaning of numbers. Let's say if you wake up every day at 10 a.m. and you go to the mosque to pray, or you go to church to pray, and then one day you wake up at 10 a.m. and then you go to work, then if you make meaning of all those numbers, like out of 10 days, I woke up only once to go to work, and all the other days I wanted to pray. If you make meaning of all that, of all those numbers, you have done data journalism.
So, in simple sense, you're trying to tell me data journalism is all about mathematics.
You can't really say that; it would be scary to many. But I would like to term it as making meaning of the numbers.
Making meaning of the numbers.
Yes, like maybe if you have 10 hospitals in a certain region, and then the other region has only one hospital, what does that really mean? If you're able to interpret that to a level that anybody can understand, then you have done data journalism.
So you can say it's the interpretation of numbers.
Yes.
Okay. So this interpretation of numbers, how is it linked to journalism?
We believe journalists are trained to convey a message to a wider audience. Anybody could be a journalist, yes, but that would be a citizen journalist. But I believe a journalist has intensively studied that, like, what would you say to somebody who is in this mood, in this mood, in this mood, or what would you generally say to a general mass audience, right? Then bringing data to somebody who is able to convey a message to a number of people, that is data journalism. I'm saying this as defining it as a journalist is able to tune himself or herself into a manner that you cannot disrupt or misinform the community.
Okay. You say that it's all about interpretation of numbers, and we know journalism is a field that has existed for centuries and centuries.
Sure.
So what really is new with data journalism that did not exist back then?
We can't say data journalism did not exist.
Okay.
It is just a practice that it is supposed to be given attention. I say this because even a phone, the smartphone that we have right now, we did not have it 10 years ago. It's because technology evolves. That means if technology evolves and the meaning, I mean the use of data with people also evolve. Back then, somebody did not log into Facebook, right? But now, let's say we could assume that in every day somebody logs into Facebook. So that means you get a lot of information. With logging into Facebook, you insert your age, you insert your gender, you insert your location, and a lot of other data or information. Okay. Then that makes it like if you have logged in, he has logged in, I have logged in, we have a set of data that is available. So it's growing as days go on. And this is why it has to be given attention, because there's a lot of information out there that needs to be interpreted.
Okay, so you have said quite a lot about data journalism and the interpretation of numbers in a way that even those who have low affinity to mathematics now can see light. So you're working with Nukta, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you told me that you're working to be a trainer too. Okay, so what really is Nukta? What does Nukta do to empower the journalists so as to understand data journalism? Okay,
let me talk a little bit about Nukta Africa. Nukta Africa is a company, a private company that focuses with a lot of things. Data journalism being it, visualization, and journalism at stake. So we have been writing a lot of data-driven stories for 3 years right now. The first story was published on the 1st of January 3 years ago. So since then, we have been writing a lot of data-related stories about children, about technology itself, about business, and a lot more. So we saw that as being able to do this, and we have a lot of other people who are not able to do this, it's actually sin. What would you answer when you ask, like, what did you do with your professionalism? Okay. So this is why my mentors and my colleagues decided to bring it out, so that they could send or share the knowledge that they have with all other journalists, so that we could get this data journalism as a practice of many.
Okay, so you're not selfish.
No.
Okay. So data journalism, because you told me that you're sharing it to different journalists, I want to know, when I heard that you are working with University of Dar es Salaam right now, the students. So I want to know that how many students are you guys training right now, and is it only University of Dar es Salaam, or you're also training journalists who are at work right now? What is the vision of, what is the goal of all this training?
Okay, so working with the University of Dar es Salaam is like us giving back to the community. So we have 10 students from University of Dar es Salaam that we are training. We are giving them all the necessary skills about data journalism. Okay. And it won't only be the University of Dar es Salaam. It's just because of the resources. That is why we are having 10, but we wish to have more. If we had a big room, we could even have 100 students at once. But it's just because of the resources that allow us to have at least 10 people who we could teach them closely and guide them into becoming data journalists. We believe that even when I was in university, I was not taught about data. Okay. We were just taught the major forms of journalism. But how do you differentiate yourself when you're out there in the market? Because even if you go to a newsroom today, everybody is able to grab a microphone, everybody is able to go to field and ask questions, and then come back to the newsroom and write a story, or maybe broadcast a story. But as a university student, what difference would you take to the newsroom once you go there? Or if you decide to employ yourself, or maybe become a media entrepreneur, how would you differentiate yourself with all the other existing media? That is why we got into data journalism and teach students as many as possible, so that they could get the knowledge that we have, and they could be different in the market once they're done with the university.
Okay, you've been speaking a lot about students and students. What about if I am a journalist, I'm working somewhere, and I want to be trained with data journalism? Is there a room for me to come and really get the training?
There is more than room. Okay. We have actually trained more than 100 journalists right now. People who are actually already in the media houses.
Who are not students.
Yes, who are not students. And we have been doing that for the past 3 years.
Okay.
We have not only trained them about data journalism, we have trained them about renewable energy in relationship to data journalism. We have trained them about fact-checking in relation to data journalism, and data journalism as a whole. So journalists out there, they know where they could get the skills. And the room is still available to everybody who wants to be told.
Okay, you said it's big. Okay, I want to know what is the status of the data journalism market currently, because we have been speaking about training and how you should differentiate yourself from other journalists, but is there really a need for us to do that? Is there a market for us to learn data journalism?
If there wouldn't be a market, I don't see the use why we'd be teaching it. Because there are people who are individual data journalists, and trust me, their work out there is different from a normal journalist, or somebody who's just data experienced. Many companies are looking for how they can make meaning of the information, or the data that they have collected. Trust me, even if you get the knowledge of data journalism, you wouldn't even suffer with your research.
Oh, really?
So it doesn't only range from journalism at all, but it covers a very huge scope, from research doing, from personal life. Like with your personal life, if you are competent with data, you could even make use of your personal information that you have. You could predict about your finances. You could predict about your gains and everything. It doesn't really just confine yourself to journalism itself, but it goes larger and larger. There's a lot of aspects that you could use the knowledge of data journalism. So it's not only about the market, it's about the use. It's huge.
I don't know, like the psychology of many people is that, why should I study it? Is there a market? Is there a need for it? Because you said it's a current thing. So many current technologies or knowledges take time to be really known by people and to be really wanted. So I want you to assure me and to assure the viewers that really we have a need to go for this training.
I would say information will keep being collected. Information will keep, it will always exist, no matter if you like it or not, because every day people are bringing up new technologies, and the technologies, if you track it, it has been collecting information ever since. Like there was that sensor technology that was there. People would come door to door asking you about your age, asking you about your occupation, asking you about the things that you do, private lives, private matters that they are not out there, right? But right now, if somebody is to use technology, they could get all that online. They could get that all on your Facebook profile. They could get that on your CV that is online published. Like there is a lot of information out there. So whether you like it or not, data will always be collected. And if you are able to make use or to create meaning out of that collected information, then you're assured with the future.
Okay, you're assured of the future. You're speaking from the future. Okay, I want to know something else. I want you to tell me, how have the journalists received this? Is it like a wake-up call, or many journalists are still reluctant in really going for this training? Are they taking it the positive way, or some people are still reluctant, like why should I? So what really is the status of journalists in really taking serious the data journalism?
I would say they really want it. They really want to, because we have been calling a lot of trainings. We have had calls for training in all the years that we have been working or operating, and we have always got at least 100 applicants, even though we wanted only 20.
100?
Yes, more than 100.
Okay.
I mean, 100 could be the lowest number, but we have had a lot of people who want to be trained with data journalism. It's like they already know the importance of data journalism, and they are looking on the ways they could be taught or something like that. However, I would like to address this. Some of them want to be paid to be taught.
Okay.
It's kind of out there. It's not all of them, but some of them still think that they are to be paid to be taught. So I would really want to talk to any journalist out there who wants to be paid so as to be taught. You will realize this when it's kind of too late. So I just urge you, whenever you get a call, we are not the only one who's giving out this service. There are some international organizations that also offer. So if that opportunity comes to knock on your door, you should really grab it, because you'll never know when you're going to need it.
Okay, that was so bold. Okay, since we're dealing with numbers here, and I have somebody who is kind of a mathematician here, from the first time you guys started training journalists to date, how many journalists have you trained? I
have answered that, like I've said, more than 100 journalists currently. To be exact, I wouldn't really put it out there, because it's not only about group teaching. It's about some that come into personal trainings, some that are taught with Nuzulak Dawson, our CEO, some are taught by Daniel Mwingira, our trainer, and some who I tend to interact and share my knowledge with. So it would actually really be difficult to correct all that, but saying more than 100 is assured.
Okay, so that is more than 100. It's more than enough.
More than
you needed.
Yes.
Okay. So right now you're dealing with the University of Dar es Salaam, and you're giving data journalism training to 10 students. So how will this training really connect these students once they are done with university with direct employment or self-employment? For instance, maybe most of the companies which offer training normally link them directly to the employment, or they make them they make them be able to do self-employment. So how is Nukta Africa linking these students, or how will it link these students to employment, to self-employment opportunities?
Okay, so as I said earlier, data journalism could help you do a lot. It could help you do a lot, and as I also said earlier, there are a lot of organizations or companies that are looking into creating meaning of their information, and all these are looking for people to do that. All these are looking for trainers to train their organizations. All these are also looking for a PR agent or a PR person who could interpret data. So let's say if you have graduated as a mass communication student, and you don't have any knowledge about data journalism, what are you going to add, or how are you going to grab the chair from somebody who's already there? You have to be unique and different.
Yes.
You have to add something on the table. So if you have this skill, you're probably going to secure that job. Like, it's something that you could brag about on your CV. I am a data journalist, or I'm a data analyst, and it could get you to places, and it would also give you opportunities that you have never imagined. I'm saying this because I graduated just as a normal graduate from Tumai University. I was taught the basics of journalism at home, about broadcasting, about writing, and etc. But as I joined Nukta Africa, they taught me how to be a data journalist. And last year, while I was still interning with Nukta Africa, I got an award of data journalist, the youngest actually.
Oh, okay.
The data journalist from NBS. I couldn't get that award if I didn't have the knowledge.
Facts. Okay, so this university program, you say that it's going to be progressive, not only in University of Dar es Salaam. So what is the next bus stop? What's the next stop?
We just started with the University of Dar es Salaam, so I think that is something that the management is going to decide. But we are looking to go to every university that offers journalism and mass communication. It could be Tumaini, it could be Sauti, it could be DSJ or anywhere else. So we really look into getting more journalists or many students as possible.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think this data journalism training in University of Dar es Salaam, particularly School of Journalism, comes hand in hand because last year we had training on science journalism. So I really think this comes in the right time, yeah, the right season, because last year we were taught about science journalism and how it's going to be very unique if you're going to be a science journalist. So I think science is all about numbers. So numbers and science, this is a very great opportunity.
I know, it's a creation of something very unique.
Okay. Have you ever been an inspiration speaker? Because right now I feel like I'm talking to an inspiration speaker.
No, I have never been an inspiration speaker.
Okay. You said that this it's like a bonus on your CV. So I want you to tell the others who have not got this chance of data journalism, because you told me you only have 10 and we have more than 200 students. What is the fate of these people or these students who have not yet got the training?
It's looking for opportunities. Because as I told you, you said you have 200 students, right?
Yes.
Of taking mass communication
and
or journalism at home.
PR.
So we had a call, and not all 200 applied.
Really?
If it was the entire university that applied, then we would be out there celebrating. But it was yes, more than 100, but not all 200 applied.
Oh.
So they don't see the importance of it.
Okay, so the problem is within the students themselves.
Not us.
Okay.
We gave the opportunity. If it was 200 that applied, let's say you have an organization or a company, and you only have 10 slots, right? And then you go to university calling up to fill the 10 slots, and the entire university applies.
Yeah.
You would be overwhelmed, and you would actually be touched like, oh, there's need to do this. You would even stretch yourself to accommodate more, right? But if not, the whole university applied, some applied.
You go with some.
You go with some who will really see the demand of it. Though we're not looking into that, we want to reach as many students as possible. It's just the limitation of the resources as for now, but we wish we could train the entire University of Dar es Salaam if we had the resources to do so.
Now we are going for our Street Insight segment, and we have Evelyn Peter as our host. Evelyn, you're welcome.
Thank you very Massawe for the welcoming, and today in the streets of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, I'll be talking about data journalism, and I'll be talking to some few students who will tell me about some things on data journalism. So I've come across one of the students of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'll let him tell me more about himself, and then we'll go now to what data journalism is.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim Jackson Kelvin, and I'm a student of School of Journalism and Mass Communication, taking journalism. Yeah.
Now, I would like to ask you about data journalism. So, what do you understand about data journalism?
About what I know about data journalism is kind of journalism that journalists tend to take some data from National Bureau of Statistics and use those data to develop some stories which are interesting and of human interest.
From what I understand, data journalism is the way of improving news writing and reporting with the use of examination of statistics to deeper insights on understanding understanding the journalism in process.
My name is Hussein Abdallah, and about data journalism I don't know much, but I have to find more information about it. Yeah, that's it.
So it means you don't have a wide range about data journalism, and I hope that you will find out, or you just ask around and you'll know more about data journalism. Thank you very much, dear viewers, and this is the end of Street Insights. You are with me, Evelyn. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn Peter, for Street Insight. Now I'm coming back to my guest, Mr. Rogers, the inspirational. Yeah. So, Rogers, thank you so much for coming at MDF. It is a pleasure. Can you give us the locations for the last time as we're approaching here?
Okay. So, Nukta, Africa, you could find it Tanzanite Park on the 7th floor, office number 10, seat space. And you could also get us at Dabe House, Marymaria, opposite to the Marymaria market. Or you could just follow our social media at Nukta Africa on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, at Nukta Tanzania for our Nukta Habari photo on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you would also get all our contacts from our social media. So we would be happy to receive you.
Okay. Thank you so much, dear viewer, for your time. We've approached the end of Mlimani discussion forum MDF today. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and you can subscribe on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and you're going to get all this interview together with all the others that have passed. Thank you so much for your time. Today you was with me, Marymaria Massawe. Until next time.